Welcome, Virgo, to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 29th of January for the Sun or the Ascendant. I get a real sense of excitement sharing this with you this week because it's so bright on Monday. You've got two of the most brilliant aspects possible. Venus and Jupiter, the two planets of fortune. Venus in the fifth house, where it's very demonstrative, affectionate, glamorous even. In a brilliant link to Jupiter in the part of your chart to do with travel, new experiences, culture. So there could be a flirty moment, or you could really immerse yourself in something that's to do with music or performance or the arts, or just have a really great date with someone. And if you are someone who does sort of have quite a sort of well-structured life, the fact that Mars in your fifth house, which gives you a lot of self-confidence in terms of sex appeal, is linking to Uranus in the ninth house, well, that's pure rock and roll. So those two planetary aspects peak on Monday, so fantastic. But Mars and Uranus are angling very well all this week. So if you are someone who tends to find it a little bit more challenging to break away from the routines in your life, which can of course be very comforting for all of us, this week really is quite provocative. It's saying go on. If there is something that you've long wanted to try, whether it's doing something quite daring for a charity fundraiser, or perhaps there's someone that you're drawn to that if you don't sort of make that first move, will it ever happen? It's a choice. So lots of possibilities. Now, Neptune has been really, really quite tricky over the last 5 weeks or so in its right angles to the planets in your sector of emotion. So things were a bit confusing around home and close relationships. But Neptune actually can be very helpful this week. Your ability to be sensitive to other people, and not necessarily even in a spoken way, just instinctively understanding where people are coming from, is really good, because Neptune links fantastically well with your ruler Mercury, which peaks on Friday. And then later in the week, Neptune's linking in a great way to Mars. So a balance of thrust and just instinct is really going to be helpful. There is an intense quarter moon on Friday. One of the dangers with a third, sixth house quarter moon is that actually we try to be too virtuous, and of course now you've got the Sun and Pluto in your sixth house. Pluto's asking some questions about your structures, about your virtue, about your industry, and essentially, we can't do everything. So if there are some tasks that you do want to clear up this week, I would say give yourself permission to have some fun, to do some things off the cuff, to break out a little bit, let your proverbial hair down. And that quarter moon, if there are some routine things that you do need to do, try not to get too preoccupied with them. Write a bit of a list of priorities, don't overdo it, just the main things, and tick them off, and then go and have some fun. Also, Black Moon Lilith in your sign forges perfect link with Venus on Saturday. If you are someone who's quite shy, Black Moon Lilith, of course, is pushing us to be a bit more provocative in terms of going for the things that we desire, that maybe, there's a little bit of forbidden fruit. And it could be that Black Moon Lilith in your sign is urging you to identify more with your uniqueness rather than fitting into any structure that has to in some way be quite calibrated. So, but Venus in the fifth house, as I mentioned before, is very potentially romantic. Now, as the week draws to a close, your ruler Mercury is edging towards a connection with Pluto, which will occur on Monday when Mercury moves into Aquarius. You could find yourself thinking quite a bit about all the things that have occurred with Pluto's support since 2008. May have been some amazing things actually in terms of your self-expression, your creativity, your flair around romance. All those areas may have been profoundly disappointing in some ways, but Mercury will certainly give you food for thought. And then next week I'll tell you about how it's going to join up with Pluto directly and also the Sun. And that's really going to concentrate your thinking about some more practical strands. So this week really is an opportunity to go for it, and that's why I'm excited for you. If you would like to understand the power of personal astrology in your life, if you give me 3 pieces of birth data, of time, date and place, or date and place if you don't know your time, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This gives you searing insights into the patterns that are played out in your life so far. You also get your 12-month forecast, your transit forecast, within my special package of 30% off, and your free Zodiac, Love, Chinese and Indian booklets for the year ahead for all signs. Please see the link below for more. If you've yet to watch your deep dive year 2024 Zodiac video, please see the link beneath this video.